According to the NAR, March had the lowest amount of homes under contract in the history of them tracking this number, and that includes the 2008 financial crisis. Every month, NAR releases the Pending Home Sales Index, which tracks the amount of homes that are under contract but haven't closed yet. Now, before you panic and think 2008 is going to happen again, let's take a look at what this number is really tracking. Now, this number is not tracking home values or foreclosure rates, so it's not an indicator of any sort of collapse in the housing market other than buyer demand. As you all know, lower buyer demand means higher pressure on sellers to reduce their prices and negotiate more with buyers. We've seen a pretty big standoff over the last few years. When COVID spiked prices, we've seen a lot of sellers really unwilling to budge and admit that the market needs to correct. We have seen some price softening across DFW around 3 to 5% in the last year or so, but it's not as significant as buyers would like. And we're almost seeing a standoff between sellers and buyers. Who's going to budge first? There are 5 main reasons we're seeing this behavior from buyers, and the first is affordability. In order for affordability to go back to where it was before the pandemic, circa 2019, we would need to see one of 3 things happen. Either mortgage rates would need to go down to 2.65%, we would need to see incomes increase by 56%, or we would need to see home prices fall by 35%. Now, none of those are realistic in and of themselves, but a combination of the 3 could be possible. Now, mortgage rates have stayed elevated for quite a while. Yes, they're down to the 6% from the 8% we saw in 2024, but they're still not where buyers feel comfortable, especially considering the cost of everything else in life right now. There's a lot of economic uncertainty with the war in Iran and a lot of the other things that are happening with inflation in our country. So when the rest of your life gets too expensive, housing really just goes out the window for a lot of buyers. So if we could see inflation get reined in, we could see some interest rates coming down a little bit, some more stability in the bond market, then we could see some more buyer interest. While we are seeing more homes for sale than we did last year, and sellers are getting more active in the market, which is a good thing, we're still not to where we need to be to keep up with pent-up demand. And you've heard me say this before, if something were to happen and magically became very affordable to purchase a home, there would be more willing buyers than there are willing sellers right now. And that demand would raise prices again, like we saw during COVID. So really, we need to keep focusing on housing inventory, focusing on new construction, and getting sellers out into the market, because the more homes that are available for sale, the less demand there is on each home, which will help keep sales and home prices lower. The last one, and this is a big one, we have to keep in mind that COVID was very recent. So when we see year over year changes, or we see studies about home prices in the last 3 years or buyers in the last 3 years, we're comparing that to a very abnormal market. You can't, if you win the lottery one year, you can't compare your income any other year to that year. It's just not a normal thing that would happen. It's not something that you can expect to happen again. So it's not a fair base of comparison.